quiet habits that will make you unstoppable. What if I told you the loudest person in the room isn't the strongest, but often the most insecure? That the ones who truly change the world don't need to announce it, post it, or shout it from rooftops, because they're too busy becoming it. You see, success isn't just built in public, it's shaped in silence. Behind every unstoppable person is a series of quiet, disciplined habits that no one sees. Habits practiced in private, when no one's watching, no one's cheering, and no one's clapping. This isn't just another motivational speech. This is a mirror held up to your potential, your patterns, and your power. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right but still stuck, if you've ever wondered why your progress feels slower than your passion, this message is for you. Because the truth is, it's not the loud habits that make you unstoppable, it's the quiet ones. So listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. Because what you're about to hear could be the difference between living a life of distraction and living a life of destiny. Let's dive in. In a world addicted to noise, movement, and endless stimulation, stillness is not just rare, it's revolutionary. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to hustle harder, post more, speak louder, and always stay busy. But the truth is, motion without direction is chaos, and noise without clarity is confusion. The people who are truly unstoppable are not the loudest or the most visible. They're the ones who have learned how to be still, intentionally, powerfully. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about listening to everything that matters. It's the space where your thoughts can breathe, where your emotions can settle, and where your vision can finally come into focus. Most people live reactively. They move fast, but without awareness. They chase goals, but never pause to question whether those goals are even theirs. But those who practice stillness have learned that silence is where you hear your intuition. It's where you reconnect with your purpose. And it's where you develop the calm confidence that others mistake for unshakable strength. Stillness is a weapon because it gives you the upper hand in a world full of noise. When you're still, you're not swayed by panic, peer pressure, or popularity. You make decisions with clarity, not desperation. You respond with wisdom, not impulse. You don't jump into battles that aren't yours. And you don't waste your energy proving your worth to people who don't even know their own. There's a reason the strongest warriors meditate before they fight. There's a reason the most powerful leaders carve out silence in the middle of chaos. Because true strength comes from within. And you can't access it if you're constantly distracted. If you can't sit with your own thoughts, you'll never have the clarity to lead others. If you can't be still, you'll always be at the mercy of noise. Stillness helps you see what others miss. While everyone else is rushing, posting, and reacting, you're observing, aligning, and preparing. You're moving with precision. You're building something that lasts. And that's what makes you unstoppable. So don't let the world trick you into thinking that stillness is weakness. It's not laziness. It's not passivity. It's discipline. It's control. It's the quiet sharpening of your inner sword. Every minute you spend in focused silence is a moment of sharpening your awareness, aligning with your mission, and separating yourself from the masses. The world is loud. Let it be. You don't need to compete with the noise. You just need to learn how to stand still in the storm. Because when you can master stillness, you can master anything. There's a hidden power available to anyone who chooses to rise before the world wakes up. Early mornings aren't just about being ahead of the clock. They're about being ahead in mindset, discipline, and intention. In those early hours when the world is quiet and distractions haven't yet begun, you are gifted a window of uninterrupted clarity that most people never take advantage of. Waking up early is a declaration. It says, I refuse to live on defense. Most people start their day reacting to emails, to social media, to noise. But those who rise early start on offense. They don't begin their day in chaos, they begin it in control. Whether it's with prayer, journaling, planning, reading, or simply sitting in silence, those early hours create a mental and emotional rhythm that sets the tone for everything that follows. This habit is quiet. No one sees it. No one applauds you for getting up when it's still dark. But those moments of quiet discipline build unstoppable momentum. You're not just gaining hours, you're gaining focus. You're gaining confidence. You're building a mindset that refuses to be distracted or rushed by the noise of the day. There's also something deeply spiritual about early mornings. It's a sacred time. When the world is still asleep, your mind is clear and open. Your heart is more honest. It's in those moments that some of the best ideas are born, some of the deepest self-reflection happens, and some of the strongest personal growth takes root. People often ask what separates the average from the exceptional. It's not always talent, it's not always opportunity. More often, it's habits. And among them, rising early is one of the most transformative. It requires self-retreat the night before and commitment in the moment. But over time, it reshapes how you show up in every area of life. If you want to become unstoppable, don't just wake up early. Own your mornings. Protect them. Make them meaningful. Because how you start your day determines how you end it. And when you learn to lead your mornings, you learn to lead your life. One of the quietest yet most powerful habits of unstoppable people is their ability to observe rather than react. In a fast-paced world that often rewards quick responses and emotional outbursts, choosing to pause, watch, and understand before reacting is a sign of true strength and maturity. When you react impulsively, you hand over control of your emotions and decisions to external circumstances. But when you observe, you take back that power. Observation allows you to see beyond the surface. It helps you recognize patterns, motivations, and consequences that others miss because they are too busy reacting. It creates space between stimulus and response, a space where wisdom grows. This pause is where you can decide what action serves your highest purpose. Instead of being driven by momentary feelings like anger, fear, or frustration, when you master observation, you become like a calm lake, reflecting everything clearly without distortion. Others may be caught in the storm of emotions, but you stay grounded, thinking through your choices carefully. This habit allows you to respond with intentionality rather than reflexively, which builds your credibility and influence over time. Emotional intelligence plays a huge role here. Those who observe are better at managing their emotions and understanding the emotions of others. This skill not only improves relationships, but also helps in navigating difficult situations with grace. Instead of escalating conflict, you diffuse it. Instead of getting distracted by drama, you stay focused on what truly matters. Learning to observe rather than react is not about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. It's a process of self-awareness and discipline that rewires your brain to think first and act second. This shift transforms how you interact with the world, making you more patient, strategic, and resilient. When you choose observation over reaction, you stop being a passenger in your life and start being the driver. You reclaim your power to make decisions aligned with your vision and values. This habit may seem quiet and simple, but its impact is profound. It's one of the silent forces behind every unstoppable person who remains calm in chaos, focused in distraction, and steady in uncertainty. One of the most powerful yet often misunderstood habits of unstoppable people is their commitment to consistency rather than intensity. Many believe that success comes from sudden bursts of extreme effort or momentary inspiration. But the truth is that lasting progress and unstoppable momentum are built through steady, reliable actions repeated day after day. Consistency is the quiet, persistent engine that drives transformation over time, far more than occasional intense effort ever could. When you choose consistency over intensity, you create a sustainable rhythm for growth. It's not about working yourself to exhaustion one day and then burning out the next. It's about showing up, doing the work, and maintaining discipline even when motivation wanes or results seem slow. This habit builds resilience because it trains your mind and body to keep going, regardless of external circumstances. Over time, these small, regular actions accumulate into massive achievements. Consistency also builds trust with yourself and others. When you consistently follow through on your commitments, you reinforce your self-confidence and reliability. This strengthens your mental fortitude and creates a foundation of integrity that others notice and respect. People who are consistent become unstoppable because they are dependable in their effort, vision, and progress. On the other hand, intensity without consistency often leads to burnout and disappointment. The cycle of pushing too hard and then quitting is draining and discouraging. It can make success feel like a fleeting dream rather than an achievable reality. But consistency turns progress into a habit and habits into a lifestyle. It transforms small actions into big results, creating unstoppable momentum that carries you forward. This habit also allows for adjustment and improvement. When you practice consistency, you create opportunities to learn from your experiences and refine your approach. It's in these steady, repeated efforts that you discover what works best and build mastery. Unlike intense, sporadic bursts, consistency keeps you in the game long enough to grow, adapt, and succeed. Ultimately, consistency over intensity is the quiet discipline that underpins unstoppable success. It's the difference between fleeting effort and lifelong achievement, between chasing quick fixes and building lasting greatness. If you want to become unstoppable, commit to showing up every day, no matter what, and watch how the power of consistency changes everything. In a world that is constantly connected, where notifications buzz every few minutes and people are always reaching out for attention, embracing solitude has become increasingly rare, and yet it remains one of the most powerful habits for anyone who wants to become truly unstoppable. Solitude is not about being lonely or isolated. Rather, it is the intentional act of setting aside time to be alone with your thoughts, free from external distractions, noise, and the influence of others. This quiet and often overlooked habit is where some of the deepest personal growth, self-reflection, and clarity occur. When you embrace solitude, you create space to connect with your inner self on a level that is difficult to achieve in the constant chaos of everyday life. It allows you to separate from the external pressures and opinions that can cloud your judgment or pull you off course. In these moments alone, without any distractions, you can begin to understand who you truly are, your deepest desires, your fears, your strengths, and your weaknesses. This self-awareness is crucial because it forms the foundation upon which all growth is built. Without it, you risk living reactively, responding to what's happening around you instead of consciously choosing your path. Solitude is also a sacred time for mental and emotional clarity. When your mind isn't bombarded by external input, you're able to sort through thoughts, feelings, and ideas in a calm and organized way. This helps you identify what really matters and filter out the noise. Many unstoppable people credit their most profound insights, creative breakthroughs, and solutions to problems to moments spent alone in deep thought or quiet contemplation. In solitude, the mind is free to explore, to innovate, and to dream without limitations. Beyond mental clarity, solitude plays a significant role in emotional resilience. It teaches you how to be comfortable with your own company, how to find peace within yourself without constantly seeking validation or distraction from others. This internal stability is a source of great strength because it makes you less vulnerable to external turmoil or negative influences. When you are able to enjoy solitude, you become independent emotionally, confident in your own worth and choices. This independence is vital to becoming unstoppable, because it allows you to stay grounded even when the world around you is unpredictable or challenging. Another powerful aspect of solitude is that it gives you uninterrupted time to focus deeply on your goals and priorities. In solitude, you can plan your next steps, visualize success, and strategize without being pulled in multiple directions. This focused attention accelerates progress because your energy is fully aligned with your purpose. Unlike multitasking or trying to squeeze planning into busy moments, solitude creates an environment where you can be fully present and intentional. Moreover, solitude is essential for recharging your energy. Living in a hyper-connected world often leads to mental fatigue and burnout because you're constantly on, responding to messages, social media, work demands, and social obligations. Taking time alone helps you step back, breathe, and replenish your mental, emotional, and spiritual batteries. It's a form of self-care that ensures you can show up with your best energy for your work and relationship. Embracing solitude doesn't mean withdrawing from the world or rejecting social connections. Rather, it is about balancing your outer engagement with inner stillness. It's about knowing when to turn down the noise, step away from distractions, and create moments to listen deeply to yourself. This balance is what allows you to engage with the world from a place of strength, purpose, and clarity instead of exhaustion or confusion. For those who aspire to be unstoppable, making solitude a regular practice is transformative. It creates fertile ground for personal growth, creativity, and emotional strength. It sharpens your mind, steadies your emotions, and fuels your motivation. In the quiet of solitude, you build an unshakable foundation that empowers you to face challenges with calm confidence and unstoppable momentum. Ultimately, solitude is a habit that honors your inner world. By embracing it, you gain access to a deeper level of understanding, peace, and power. It's one of the silent, unseen forces behind the success of those who move forward with relentless focus and resilience, no matter what life throws their way. When you learn to embrace and cherish solitude, you unlock a wellspring of strength that nothing external can ever take away. One of the most important habits that unstoppable people cultivate is a growth mindset, a way of thinking that embraces challenges, sees failure as a stepping stone, and constantly seeks improvement. Unlike a fixed mindset, which believes that talents and intelligence are static and unchangeable, a growth mindset understands that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. This mindset is a quiet but powerful driver of unstoppable progress because it changes how you respond to obstacles and setbacks. When you cultivate a growth mindset, you begin to view difficulties not as dead ends, but as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Every failure, mistake, or criticism becomes valuable feedback that guides you toward improvement rather than a reason to quit. This perspective is crucial because the path to success is rarely smooth or easy. It is filled with obstacles that test your resilience. The difference between those who give up and those who become unstoppable is often this mindset. People with a growth mindset stay committed to their goals, even when the going gets tough, because they believe their efforts will lead to progress. And having a growth mindset also fuels a love of learning. Unstoppable people are always seeking new knowledge, skills, and experiences that help them become better versions of themselves. They understand that growth is a lifelong journey, and they are willing to invest the time and energy necessary to evolve. This openness to learning keeps them adaptable and prepared for whatever changes or challenges life throws their way. Furthermore, cultivating a growth mindset helps you overcome fear of failure and rejection. When you see failure as part of the process instead of something to avoid at all costs, you become more willing to take risks and step outside your comfort zone. This willingness is essential because growth and success rarely happen without some degree of uncertainty and challenge. A growth mindset encourages you to embrace the unknown, take calculated risks, and keep moving forward despite setbacks. This mindset also fosters patience and persistence. Growth rarely happens overnight. By believing that steady effort leads to improvement, you develop the patience to stay consistent over time, and the persistence to keep pushing even when results aren't immediate. This combination of patience and perseverance creates unstoppable momentum. Ultimately, cultivating a growth mindset transforms how you approach life, challenges, and your own potential. It quiets the inner critic and replaces doubt with curiosity and determination. This mindset opens doors to new possibilities and empowers you to keep growing, evolving, and becoming unstoppable no matter what obstacles arise. It is one of the foundational habits that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Many people underestimate the power of rest and recovery when it comes to becoming unstoppable. In a culture that often glorifies constant hustle and non-stop work, it's easy to believe that pushing harder and longer is the key to success. But the truth is, without proper rest and recovery, your mind and body can't perform at their best. Prioritizing rest is a quiet but essential habit that fuels sustainable progress and keeps you moving forward with energy and focus. Rest is not just about sleep, although quality sleep is crucial. It also includes taking breaks during the day, allowing your mind to reset, and engaging in activities that recharge your emotional and physical energy. When you prioritize rest, you prevent burnout and reduce stress, which can otherwise drain your motivation and creativity. This habit creates balance in your life, enabling you to maintain consistent effort over the long term rather than burning out from intense but unsustainable work. Recovery time allows your brain to process information, consolidate learning, and strengthen memory. It's during rest that your body heals and your energy stores are replenished. This means that when you return to your work or goals, you do so with renewed focus, sharper thinking, and greater resilience. Without this crucial recovery period, mistakes increase, decision-making suffers, and progress slows. Unstoppable people understand that rest is part of their strategy, not a sign of weakness. They know when to push forward and when to step back, creating a rhythm that maximizes productivity and well-being. By listening to your body and mind's signals, you avoid burnout and keep your motivation sustained over time. In addition, prioritizing rest helps you maintain emotional balance. Stress and fatigue can cloud your judgment and lead to frustration or discouragement. Taking time to recover